Hey there, this is Max Doolin. I am the founder of the Spokane Cyber Cup, and we're so excited that you decided to come on this journey. Whether this is your first time coming to the event, or your fourth or fifth, or whatever it is, we couldn't be more excited to have you. Even though this is framed as a capture the flag competition, to me at the core of it, it's a learning event, and I'll be explaining why in a moment. But first, what is a capture the flag competition? A capture the flag competition is when you are given a programming or hacking or any sort of challenge, and there is an end goal to it. Sometimes this goal is to find the name of a city. Sometimes it is taking information out of a database. This goal ranges, though. And I'll give you some examples of CTF challenges and the types of challenges you will see in a moment. Once you have figured out the solution to said challenge, you're given points. And these points are how we determine who is doing better and who is not doing is better or is good. The harder the challenge, the more points it is worth. So this is that is a general part for what a capture the flag competition is. The main difference between this capture the flag event and other capture the flag events is most capture the flag events are try harder, who's the greatest hacker around kind of events, but that's not the goal of this. My main goal is to make sure you guys learn as much as possible. We frame it as a competition because we want you guys to try hard. But to me, the real winners are the ones who learn the most. The big difference between this and other events, though, is two things. First, we have coaches, and second, we have specially curated challenges. On the coaches side, we have industry professionals from companies like Asymmetric Research, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, who are coming to help you guys with these challenges. And we also have people from local businesses in Spokane as well, but those are just ones I remember off the top of my head. And they walk around and nudge in the right direction. Don't know what SQL injection is? They'll happily explain what it is to you. You feel like you're really close to solving something, just need a little push in the right direction, a coach will happily assist you with that. The coaches won't know absolutely everything, but they also have a solution guide in their hand that will help push in the right direction. In worst case, they can go find the person who created the challenge and guide them as well. The second major difference is there are specially curated challenges for this event. Every challenge we create is unique and brand new for this event specifically. And being that this is a learning event, we don't like to leave things to chance. Most of the prompts are super helpful. The tips are nice. The coaches walk around. And we give you a nice stepping stone for live challenges as well. For the challenges, sometimes they are tiered, meaning that you start from point A and you build on A, and then you get to B, and then you use B and A to then try to solve C. So it's incremental in nature, at least a lot of these challenges are. Finally, the major difference on the curated challenges side of it is that we also have solution guides, both in paper form, what the coaches will have, and videos for you guys after the event. So if you don't know something after the event, you can easily run the challenge locally because everything is made open source after the event, and watch the videos to help guide yourself through it. So the learning doesn't even stop after this event, which is awesome. Cool. So I'm going to change screens here, and hopefully that transition wasn't too bad. So now we're going to talk about how this event is actually set up and the schedule of it. For the event itself, this is what the schedule looks like. So team check-in is between 8:30 and 9, and then at 9 a.m. we will have a opening ceremonies of sorts. And then at 9:30, we will actually start the real hacking. We'll have breaks and then more hacking, and then a lunch break. And then at the lunch break, we'll have a cybersecurity panel for people to ask questions to. I'll also have some questions prepared, but if there are things you've been dying to ask tech professionals, this is a really good place to ask that. We're going to have some people from a wide range of backgrounds, some people who are fairly new to the industry, some people who've been doing it for 15 years, and I think it's a really good safe space to ask questions. After that, we will hack some more, we'll have a break, and then we'll have a closing ceremonies. At the closing ceremonies, we will talk about who the winners are. We'll give away prizes for the winners. There's also random prizes that I don't disclose beforehand, but for things like who solved a particular challenge that I wanted to see who could solve it first, for the highest score, and various other things. So don't want to miss that. I think it's interesting to see how people did, and hear people's perspectives on the event. Cool, so that leads us to the rules section of the event. You probably didn't know this, but there's team size limits. There are 5. You can also sign up as individual, and I will individually send you and your teammates an email once I place you guys onto a team. So you can sign up as an individual, and I will find a team for you. The goal is to put people on the same school and then at the same grade level to make it work. There are 2 different divisions. I kind of arbitrarily select where those go. I try to do that based upon the grade and your previous experience with stuff. So I have some other rules here, but this one's kind of hard to say. Last year we had a lot of LLMs, but I think the LLMs are just too strong now. My goal is to teach you guys how this stuff works. I actually tried, and you can actually give quite a few of these questions to LLMs, and they'll solve them. But that's not the point of this. I want you to learn. I want your brain to come up with these things. So I also don't like automated scanners. So like SQL Map is a good example where you just start spewing stuff in a website. My websites aren't meant to handle this. I run them on pretty cheap boxes so that I can keep costs low for the event. So I don't like the automated scanners either. But other than that, every other resource is allowed. It's open book, open internet. You can use books. You can use Google. You can use whatever you want. Just ChatGPT and LLM things are not allowed, and also don't like automated scanners. On top of that, we don't like brute forcing on websites unless it's explicitly stated. And I don't think there are any website brute forcing challenges this year. There's one local brute forcing challenge, but for the most part, none of these challenges are going to be brute forcey. Actually, I think there was one more, but it will explicitly state that it is a brute force challenge. Don't share flags and solutions with others. Again, this is a team event, and if somebody gives you a flag, then you miss the party of the clouds. And at the end of the day, you don't want to miss the party of the clouds. You don't want to miss those aha moments. Because to me, again, the real winners are the ones who learn the most. If I see anybody with a paper solution guide the coaches have, I will be very mad. And this is my angry face. You don't want to see my angry face. I'm typically a pretty happy guy, but I don't like people cheating. This is not my vibe. And this includes faculty. So I'll have a group of max sanctioned coaches, and those are the only people that should have the solution guides at the event. Cool. So those are the rules. I think for the next section, I will switch back to the full screen view. Cool. So for the event, there are various things you want to bring. And here are my suggested things to bring. Of course, you want to have a laptop and a computer. Obviously, you want to bring a charger for that because we're not going to have chargers for your own laptop. For the high school students, we do have a computer science lab for them. So, and this can be given to other students as well, but it's obviously if you have your own laptop, it's much easier to just use that. I would recommend bringing power strips. We have a limited amount of power strips that we own, but we have a lot of computers with a lot of power needs. So try to bring your own power strips if you can. Snacks are great. If I do CTFs, I always bring things like Cliff Bars, pretzels, gummy bears, things that are good, good sources of energy really quickly. Whiteboard markers and pen and paper are good. I actually don't know the exact specs. I don't live in Spokane. I live in Seattle. So I don't know what the building exactly where is going to have whiteboards, but I assume classrooms do. But pen and paper is pretty safe as well. Sometimes it's easier to draw stuff out and work through stuff with teammates. Feel free to bring books as well. It's a given. And this is a little bit of a hint. Make sure a team member has the ability to use NFC on their phone. I'm not going to give it away 100%, but make sure one member of your team has the capability of that on their phone. iPhones should have that, and most modern Android phones also have that as well. Just things like flip phones and older Androids and older iPhones won't. Cool. So we're going to switch back to the other mode. And we're going to start going through some of the challenge information. So, first, for going through this, here is the flag that you were promised for this. So, again, this is a flag for you. This is actually worth points to the event. I think it's important to watch this video. So, it is SC6 braces, and then some text, and then another brace. So that is going to be the flag format for most things. Notice this SC6 is actually Spokane or Cyber Cup or Spokane Cup or something like that, 6. This is intentional so that you can, there's some cases where it's hard to find strings or you're not seeing it, so it makes it easier to find. But unless explicitly stated, the flag will always be in this exact format. Again, there are challenges where this won't be the case and it will explicitly be stated. By default, this is what it will be though. So at this event, there are typically 4 types of challenges. There are web challenges, there are SSH, Netcat, and then virtually everything else. I think this works. Cool. So this is a website, and I can just go here, and we're going to act with some website. The prompt was something like, this is the injection city. We're going to use injection-based attacks to exploit these websites. This is a challenge from last year. So we click on it, and it says command injection. So command injection is a technique where you can execute bash commands in the context of a website where you shouldn't be able to do that. So right now, the bash command being ran is ping-c1google.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do semicolon, which will escape that bash command so we can do other things. And then after that, I will do cat flag or /flag/flag.txt. And that should be flag 1 for this challenge. And now we get this flag out. So with this challenge, it wasn't a specific task you're supposed to do. It was just get the flag by any means necessary. In this case, we use a bash shell injection. And this is a common theme for these various challenges. There is a website, there's an application, and your job is to get the flag out of it in some capacity. In this case, it was command injection, sometimes make cross-site scripting. It depends on the type of challenge it is. But websites are a fairly common way to interact with challenges at this event. So the second type of challenge is SSH. SSH stands for Secure Shell, and it's a way to use the terminal, but on somebody else's computer. So I try to make this a little bit bigger. And in this case, for the challenge, you're actually told how to connect to it. So in this case, I'm saying SSH on port 2227. Typically, SSH is on port 22, but we have to change the ports for this event. The username is nochar, and the username and password will always be the same on these sorts of challenges, or there won't be a password at all. And then finally, the domain, and I run this locally, but the event will be something like spokane-ctf.com, or like pwn1.spokane-ctf.com. Cool. So I know the password is nochar, and now we're in this box. So we can see that there's a flag file here, and that sounds awesome. So you think if I cat flag.txt, I'll get the flag, but it's not the case. So in this situation, we need to somehow convince this program that we are deemed worthy of getting the flag, or trick the program to get us the flag, or in some way. In this challenge, we actually need to get the flag out of it. And the solution for this isn't important. This challenge is online from last year, so you can't look at the solution. But this is the solution for this challenge. So notice that my user is actually changed to flag user. And if I do pwd or who am I, we actually are the flag user. And so now I can cat the flag. You're probably wondering, how does this work? How could you not access this flag before, but now you can? So this run script here actually has a special permission called setuid. Setuid allows it to execute the permissions of another user when it's being executed. So we start off as an unprivileged user that can execute this binary, and that's it. And this binary is able to access the flag. So once we have either completed the completion criteria, or in this challenge, we have popped a shell. Now we can interact as that user. We can get the flag as we would like. Cool, so that's SSH challenges. And the final challenge, the third final challenge is what we call Netcat. Netcat is the Swiss Army knife of networking tools. And I'm guessing that you'll probably need to download some capacity. If you're on Windows, we recommend using WSL, or the Windows subsystem for Linux, because Netcat's easy to use in that case. If you're on Linux or Mac OS, you can easily download this using package managers. So what I mean by this of being the Swiss Army knife networking tools is it can interact with most protocols. You can even make an HTTP request using this. It's kind of crazy. So it is the domain, which in this case for me is localhost, and then 127. Sorry, I think the port number is that big number. Or there we go. Okay. So with this, I'm given this program to interact with. And if you notice, this looks pretty similar to the 6 challenge, and it is. Netcat is typically used when we want you to interact with the challenge, but we don't want you to be able to see the source for it. So in this case, we were given this interface that has various, has a prompt. So I'm just going to solve it so you can see what this looks like. The goal of this challenge, if we look at the challenge, it says the goal of this system is to become the admin user. Now, if I try to create the admin user, it says nice try. If I try to log in as the admin user, it also says nice try. So what's going on here is that it doesn't allow me to just become the admin user. So I have to trick it to become the admin user somehow. And that's the completion criteria. Once you are the admin user, then you win. So the solution for this is kind of weird. I'm going to create a user called admin1, and then I'm going to log in. With my admin1 user and no random data. I'm going to get my session information for admin1. I messed that up. 4. Cool. All right. So here's my old session data. Again, the solution's irrelevant to this. So that's going to be admin. Random data is going to be 1. Old signature is going to be that. And notice how it gives you the flag. This is because once you've logged in as the admin user, it notices the completion criteria and gives you the flag. Sometimes you need to explicitly say, hey, have I completed this? But this is the general flow of the Netcat challenge. Cool. So the final type of challenge is virtually everything else. Notice how most of these actually gave you a nice little flag, but that's not always the case. For instance, in this challenge from Vanessa, my wife last year, the goal of this challenge was you were given a bunch of websites. A bunch of hotels. And you had to figure out which hotel was the one that they were going to allow you to stay at. And this is actually a real problem my wife ran into, where she was given a discounted rate but didn't get to choose the hotel, but she wanted to know what hotel she was going at. So by doing some open source intelligence, you're able to figure it out. In that case, the name of the hotel was actually the flag. In Google Dork, I think it was a fairly similar type of thing. You need to find the there it is. You need to find the name of the last person to edit this file. And sometimes it's math, or it's a number that's the answer. Unless it explicitly stated, the flag will always be in the format of SC6, but if it says it's a number, if it's the name, then keep that in mind because the flag is going to be different than you anticipate. Cool, so we're almost done here. Thanks for bearing with me. I think this is very valuable for making the event enjoyable for everyone. We're going to switch back to the full screen mode now. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about how the event operates. This year it's at Spokane Falls, February 8th. We're going to have a big room where check-in's going to be, and then you're going to have individual classrooms to work in, where there's going to be about 3 to 4 teams. So here's some tips for the event for being successful. First, more points equals more difficulty. Start with the lower point challenges and work your way up. If you know something, or if you have previous experience with a particular type of challenge, then go for those first. Of course, you want to learn, so don't completely stay in your box, but if you're trying to score more points, it's tempting to go for the harder ones first, but start with the easier ones, build up some confidence, and go from there. Second, we have some challenge series. What this means is that there will be something like 1 out of 4 in the challenge name. And because it's sequential, you won't be able to access all of them at once. You have to solve them in order. If you do this, you tend to build up the knowledge, and I think the challenges become easier. So I think the challenge series are nicer for that reason. The names, prompts, and tips you're given are not meant to trick you. They're meant to be really helpful. So look at these if you don't know a concept. For instance, like that command injection challenge was literally called command injection. Look up command injection. Look up what it is, and it'll be a good guidance for you. Coaches are your friends, and they want to help you. Don't be shy to ask. They're there specifically to help you with this event. They want to make you better and help you solve stuff. But they're not going to spoon feed you. Bear that in mind. Finally, working challenge together is good. I think it makes things go faster. I always find I'm a better hacker when I'm able to go back and forth with somebody. Finally, have fun. This event is supposed to be really fun. I'm not going to lie to you, it's pretty tiring. Thinking this critically is difficult, but at the end of the day, you're going to feel so happy with how much you learned. You're going to have a good time with all of your friends, and you'll have a potentially new career path. So that's the event. If you have any specific questions, dietary restrictions, feel free to email me for the event. My email should be follow along how you found this video. If not, it's mdoolin2@zagmail.gonzaga.edu. mdoolin2, which is my last name, Doolin 2. So we're really excited to see you at the event. It's going to be another great year. We have some wicked fire challenges set up. Some of them I've been planning for 3, even 4 years. I just finally got everything, the stars to line to make it work. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.